Hello, this is wmpyr. I received a question in the comments, so I like to try to answer that. So the first thing is the bad guy is rushing at me, so they're coming at me with a killer intent. They want to kill me. Okay, so my response is this person is thinking that they either want to run or they want to kill the other person. So it's kill or be killed kind of attitude, right? And they're doing this to try to simplify their options and not make it too complex. Because in a panic, if you have too many options, that can make things difficult. So I understand what they're talking about. It sounds to me, like a lot of beginners, I think this way, that if they've never been in a real life situation, they think that, oh, if I get messed with and if I have to defend myself, man, I'm not going to hold back. I'm going to go all out. I'm going to kill the other guy. A lot of people think that way. They've never been in a fight. They think they're going to go Hulk mode and they're just going to smash the other guy to bits. They may or they may not, right? But that's kind of a common thing because people who have no experience like that, that's all they have. They have either it's on all the way or it's not. That's all they got. So either way, I would recommend that number one, that you remove the word kill out of the equation because when you're thinking kill or be killed, so I'm going to kill you before you kill me, this kind of attitude is very negative. I don't think it's healthy for you psychologically, spiritually, morally, ethically, or even legally. I don't think it's a good idea. So I recommend take the word kill out of your vocabulary and just think survive. That's survive, protect. I want to live. That's what you should be thinking. And in order to make that happen, you'll do whatever it takes in order to live, in order to protect yourself. And if that means, the other person dies, so the result may be the same, okay? But at least your mentality wasn't, I'm trying to kill this guy. It wasn't that way. So I think that's much healthier for you to think survival. And if a death, unfortunately, does occur, then I think you could move forward better. And also during the situation, you could execute the technique without hesitation or confusion because you're not thinking murder, you're not thinking kill because you should know that that's a bad thing, all right? You're thinking survival. You don't need justification for survival, right? It's very clear. I'm surviving. I need to survive. I need to defend. I need to protect myself. There is no hesitation. There is no excuse. There's nothing. You just do it. So that's a very, very clear and clean way to think, in my opinion. So I recommend that. And we can talk about fight or flight next. So the idea of fight or flight, this guy wants to choose. Pick one, right? And what I want to introduce to you guys is sometimes you don't even get that choice. It just freaking happens, okay? And when that happens, there's actually three possibilities. It's not two, it's three. And what I've been saying for a while now is it's fight, flight, or freeze, the triple Fs, right? So, and what I mean by this is like you're in a bad situation and all of a sudden you're running. You didn't even know at first, but your legs just went. Okay, and you find yourself running. So your body chose flight. Your brain didn't, your body just chose it. Another situation is all of a sudden you find yourself in the middle of a brawl and you're punching back. Your body chose fight. And then there's another situation where your brain can be ready to go. You, in your mind, you could say, bring it, man. I'm ready. I'm ready to do this. Let's go. Let's brawl, okay? I'm ready to trade back and forth, back and forth. I'm ready, but your body doesn't move. So your body chose freeze, okay? So it has nothing to do with the brain. The body just chooses. So you didn't have the choice, okay? The body picked it. So now you got to deal with it, all right? And the question is, when you got to deal with it, do you have the tools? Do you have the training to deal with that? So like in the running situation, all of a sudden you're running. You got to be able to identify, know that, okay, my body did this for me. Okay, thank you. Thank you, body. And then you got to go, was this the smartest thing to do. Now your brain takes over and you go, do I need to go back or do I need to keep running? Where do I go? You got to figure out, what do I need to do right now? Okay, so then the brain takes over. And the next thing I got to mention with that is Miyamoto Musashi talked about running in battle. And this is where I think the guy was awesome, because a lot of people might think, okay, you run in battle. Yeah, I don't need to train for that. You do. It can be very, very technical. There's a lot of things to work on. So I recommend you guys, as you escape, it doesn't have to be run. It could be walk, or it could be whatever. As you escape, you need to work on the strategy and the techniques. You need to pre-plan that, and you need to practice that, okay? Because it's a lot more complex than it sounds. So the next one is the fighting. The fighting, a lot of people misunderstand. Fighting is different from martial arts a lot of times, because martial arts is the practice, the learning, and the mastery of a technique, And that is very, very different from fighting, because fighting is what you're doing is you're fighting someone. It's a struggle. A fight is a struggle. You are in a struggle to make the technique happen. So it's different from the technique itself. So that's why boxers have to sometimes go 12 rounds. They're fighting the whole time to land the technique, and at the very end it lands clean, or it finally lands and it takes the guy out. So they had to go, 3 rounds, 5 rounds, 12 rounds to finally make that happen. They had to earn the technique, okay, the finish. It could be MMA, where they had to go 5 rounds. They had to go 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes in order to get the Juji Gatami, or, the Hadaka Jime, rear naked choke, or whatever it was. They needed to fight. So do you have that ability to fight, to make the technique happen? That's the question, So that's different from the skill part. So please understand that, okay? And then number 3 was the freeze, right? So if you freeze, what can you do? And in a lot of reality-based combat talk about this, but you got to realize that you're frozen. And for me, you go into breathing to help you get out of it. But in reality-based fighting, reality-based self-defense type stuff, they teach you that the techniques that you use need to be very, very simple. They cannot involve complex motor skills. So things that involve like your fingers and stuff, they're saying don't even bother with that, And I think that works very, very well. That kind of mentality works very well in this specific time when you're frozen. So if you're not frozen, I wouldn't limit myself to, just gross motor skills and throw away all my fine motor skills. No way. I would never do that, But in this situation, it would be a smart idea when you're stiffening up and you can't move and you can barely breathe. In that kind of situation, yeah, it would be good to stick with gross motor skills. And another great martial arts style, which is karate, the way they do the forms and stuff, where they tense up the body and the breathing is really hard. I think that is perfect for this type of situation. It lets you have the ability to fight while you're frozen. So to me, that's extremely impressive. So I'd recommend that you have those kinds of ideas in your arsenal. So that's it for now. Thank you for listening, and take care, folks.